It's time to learn how to become a real master of magic. Just ignore the screams. Hello, my fellow citizens of the Gates. How fares you on this wondrous day? Why is it a wondrous day? Because it's yet another day that we could play Baldurs Gate 3, which I think by default makes any day pretty phenomenal, or at least if my Steam played time is anything to go by. Anyway, what I wanted to do is real quickly bring you a legendary item, a weapon that is unbelievably potent, and something that I would be very sad if you went your entire playthrough without getting. It is incredibly hard to get to, and I really think such a tiny percent of players will ever actually see it, unless they get help from something like this right here today. Oh, and as a bonus, we'll also be including 3 other incredibly potent, very rare bits of gear that you can get alongside it. So if that sounds good, and I know it does, let's get on with it. What are we after then? It is this beauty. A staff by the name of Markoheshkir. And it is just bursting with bonuses. It's a plus to staff to begin with, but that's fine. We're not using it to hit people with. We are using it for its extras. So you get +1 bonus to both your spell saves and attack rolls, which is just obviously amazing, and even if it just said that, you'd probably be like, yeah, that's worth using. And then we continue to Arcane Battery. Once per day, you can cast a spell without expending the slot. Which means, yeah, at the top end, an extra 6th level spell cast a day, for free, just by having this weapon. That is absolutely nutty. Then we get Kareska's Favor. This you can cast again once per day, and the cast of it will last for the day until you long rest. So essentially, you can just have a permanent buff up using this. And what is that buff? Well, you choose one of 6 options, and each one is focused on a different type of damage. You've got acid, you've got poison, you've got thunder, you've got lightning, cold, and fire. And this choice will do 3 things for you. The first is make you resistant to the type of damage that is your selection. The second is that your spells will deal extra damage of that type, equal to your proficiency bonus, which is just a nice little bump. But then the last perk, and definitely the biggest one, is it will give you the ability to cast 2 extra potent spells tied to that damage type. For example, if I choose, let's say, Cold, and up we go, and by the way, it looks beautiful. The effect you get on both your staff, your shield, and the crackle, and this is just it now for the rest of the day, so all of the time. Oh, it really is brilliant. But we've cast Cold, and now we have Cone of Cold and Ice Storm, a level 4 and a level 5. That is just really good to get, and you can cast each once per short rest. So again, really good. Except it's actually better than that. So if I enter turn-based mode real quick and then blast off this Cone of Cold, lovely, loads of damage, all good. Really, as I said, potent spell to get for free once every short rest. Except, well, let's go back round to me once again. Let the environment take its really, really lengthy turn doing all the things the environment does. Good for you, environment. Then we get back round to me. Oh, I can cast it again? Huh. Yeah, currently it's not intentional, at least if the wording is to be believed here, but currently the spells granted by this staff you can cast every turn. Which understandably makes it absolutely bonkers strong, and a few of the damage options do give you level 6 evocation spells, which means this gives you the ability to cast a level 6 spell every round of combat. I don't need to really go into detail as to why that is, well, again, literally broken, but, you know, broken. So, I presume you're now sold. How do we get hold of this thing? Oh, and to quickly go over the other items we'll be grabbing, it is this, the pyroquickness hat, which gives you an extra bonus action when you deal fire damage at the cost of a little bit of a damage to yourself. That is obviously lovely. We'll also be grabbing the Robe of the Weave, an extra +1 to your spell saves and attack rolls that stacks with the staff, and if you save a spell, you gain an extra 1 to 6 health, which is, you know, kinda nice, and then an extra 2 AC, which is brilliant to get from just clothing. And then lastly, we get this, the Foe Breaker, which means you can use it to anything, and even if it has bludgeoning resistance, it's a +2, a 2d6, and will always at least do 1 damage even if you miss, so fairly solid there. Let's get to grabbing this staff then. You want to head to Sorcerer's Sundries in Baldurs Gate Lower City in Act 3. You can get straight there as soon as you get to the Lower City, and you will, you know, walk in the building. Head upstairs and you'll be greeted by a series of portals. There's a few conversations along the way, deal with them as you see fit, but the portal we're after is the far left kind of bluey one. And once we enter it, we will go up into the tower. Again, deal with conversations as you see fit, and then we want to walk out onto the balcony. On the east side of the room, once you're on it, spin the camera around, and then jump, teleport, etc. down to the lower level that you can see, and then go in through this gap in the window. Once we're in this room, well, there's a lot going on, but if you head to the center, it's a magical force field floor, and if you look down, you can see the staff that we're after in question. So, aim your camera so you can see the kind of floating magical table, and then just to the left of that is a button that we need to go press. Pressing it will send us down to that lower area where we can now go about retrieving our item of choice. Now, if you don't see a lever on the ground, what you want to do is cast Create Water, and it will make it appear. A few other spells get it to show up too, but Create Water is the most consistent. Once the lever's there, interact with it, pass an Arcana check, and you will lower the force field and allow you to grab the staff. Job done. Quite quick when you know what's going on, but you can see why just stumbling across that might be a little bit hopeful if you're truly just wandering blind. On the other side then, as you can see, is another force field bubble. If you pass the Arcana check on that one, you get the Robe of the Weave and can start comboing them together. Now, in order to leave this place, you need to find a very specific button around the outer ring back up top when you teleport back up there. And it is this one here on the southeast of the room. This will teleport you to another hidden location, and I cannot stress here enough 2 things. Loot everything because there's some incredibly good things to grab, and then secondly, cast Detect Invisibility on yourself as it will help out. As we move through the rooms here, you will get even more goodies to get. Twin spell with knock being the thief's MVP, and then there will be a room with a portal in. If you go past that, you will enter a room that has doors leading to vaults. Vaults with lots of goodies in. The silver hand door you don't need to worry about. Through there is just the method to unlock the other 2 doors, but if like me you have knock, well, just knock knock and blast them both open, and then you can go on through. This is 2 vaults filled with goodies, and in these vaults is where you'll find our specific goodies. The Foe Breaker in one, and in the other you will get the Pyroquickness hat. There's also lots of other stuff, and you want the Detect Invisibility as it will reveal invisible chests, one of which has the Pyroquickness hat, and the others just have good stuff that you want to grab, but nothing crazy important. And that essentially is that. Then you can exit past that portal you walked past and move on your merry way. I hope you have found this useful, and I hope you enjoy using what might actually be, essentially because it's bugged right now, the most powerful legendary item in the game. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.